Well, hi friends, I'm Laura and welcome to the channel. Well, today we're going to talk about feeling disconnected, getting to that stage in your life where you're ready to put down some roots. But because of a crazy life, maybe you've moved a lot, started over a lot, had a lot of changes, and maybe as a result, you don't quite know how to put down roots. Well, I'm sitting here on the back porch in New Orleans, and I wanted to let those of you who have asked know that at the end of this video, I've added a little bit of a walking tour of my neighborhood. I got a lot of requests to see some more New Orleans architecture. So I went out and walked up and down the streets and added a little video at the end for all of you who are interested in seeing a little more of these cool, quaint, quirky little houses in New Orleans. So today we're talking about something that affects many women and men, especially those of us who have lived a very transient, mobile life. This was a great topic idea, and it came from one of the members of our community. So you're a person like me who's moved a lot. You never felt like you put down roots. You were constantly uprooted because of a job. You followed a spouse's career. You raised kids in different cities, different neighborhoods, different school districts, or maybe personal circumstances required you to pick up and start over more than once. If you've moved around a lot, it can cause you to feel a little bit rootless. And the problem is that now that we're in our golden years, we've retired or we're getting ready to retire, we've generally figured out where we want to settle down. Maybe you're already there, but wherever you are or wherever you plan on going, for most of us, it's the first time we're planting roots. And it's kind of ironic that it's happening so late in life. So how do you make friends or form real connections when your past has been so transient? And more importantly, why should you still try? So I call this the rootless reality, because we live in a very mobile world. And I hear from so many of you who feel separated from your larger extended family, even from your grown kids who may live several states away. Very few people stay in the town where they were born. Retirement, while it doesn't always mean settling down per se, in fact, for many of us, it can mean even more transition, right? Downsizing, moving to be closer to adult children, or just seeking better weather. I wouldn't choose New Orleans. No. Even if you haven't moved lately, odds are you have friends who have. That old friend from your book club moved to be near her grandkids. The neighbor who you used to walk with downsized and left the neighborhood. And suddenly you realize it's been months, maybe even years since you've made a new friend. And honestly, that can feel very isolating, even a little hopeless. So whether it's you who move or a friend, you're not alone, because making friends in your 50s, even your 60s, your 70s and beyond is hard. Not because we don't have the skills, we do, but because it takes energy, trust, and emotional risk. And those can be short in supply at our age. Some of us, let's face it, are tired. Some of us are just cautious. And many of us are afraid of investing time in someone who's just going to move on at some point. We think, what's the point? They'll probably move to Florida next year or go live with their daughter in Arizona. They may even bring it up in conversation and put panic in you. But the truth is that connection doesn't always have to be permanent to be meaningful. And maybe we start looking at this stage of our lives differently. Think about enjoying temporary friendships, warm acquaintances, even light-hearted companionship, because not every relationship has to go the distance. Some can simply be a chapter in your book. And sometimes just knowing that you had a good talk, a fun lunch, knowing you have someone to call when you don't feel like being alone, that can be enough. Friendship doesn't have to be a lifetime contract. It can be a gift in the moment. The special moments and the people we've met along the way are what has made us who we are today. So, what are some practical tips to find friends or companions, especially when you feel out of practice? Let me offer just a couple quick, doable ideas. Super simple. Number one, just start friendly, not deep. Look for opportunities everywhere to be pleasant, not perfect. Say hello to people that you pass regularly, maybe where you live, a neighbor, the clerk at your grocery store. Chat with the woman behind you in a line. Smile and compliment someone. Small talk may feel superficial, but it's really good training. It helps build confidence, and it could open the door to a connection or someone who might turn into a friendly acquaintance. And let me share another benefit. It just puts you in good headspace when you give off positivity. It attracts positivity. I was talking to a fellow empty nester in the grocery store, and she shared with me that she always said hello and exchanged a little chit chat with her town librarian. And after a couple of years of just passing niceties, one day the librarian mentioned that her youngest child had graduated and moved out of the house and to another state. And she was really struggling with being an empty nester. Well, that led to a longer conversation and eventually to a cup of coffee. And now, 2 years later, they have a warm friendship. So you never know. Now, we've all left the house in a great mood. And what happens? Well, it builds on itself. Things just seem to go right. And when we wake up, not that I've ever done it, on the wrong side of the bed, guess what? Well, the day generally becomes forgettable because aggravation leads to more aggravation. Number 2, join low pressure spaces. Instead of signing up for a big group, big commitment, look for reoccurring low commitment meetups, discussion groups, garden club, a walking club, a craft circle. A big shout out to several members of our community who have shared that they joined their local Rotary Club, Kiwanis, Lions Club. One member is volunteering at a local tech school. They were a welder in their career years, and now they're mentoring others. Another woman mentioned that she started worshiping at a new place, and they allowed her to start a mentoring group for older women. I'd like to take a second and give a plug for service organizations in particular, because like Kiwanis, Rotary, Lions, they are one of the best places to meet other mature people. These types of groups tend to meet on a set day, set time, perfect if you have ongoing appointments or other obligations. They rarely meet for more than 90 minutes, so you can easily plan the rest of your day. And many include breakfast or lunch. They don't abuse your schedule because honestly, they usually have a tough time attracting members who will truly participate. If you join any kind of group or organization, let me tell you, be consistent in your participation because consistency builds comfort for you and for them. Give them a chance to get to know you because once a group starts counting on you showing up, they'll start looking forward to seeing you. And next thing you know, you'll have great acquaintances. Some might even become friends, but at the very least, they will be your Rotary friends or your Kiwanis friends. And honestly, there's nothing better than shared service and volunteering with people you enjoy being around. Number 3, be curious, not impressive. Ask questions. People light up when someone takes a genuine interest. Ask about their garden, their dog, their cat, how they spend their free time. You don't need to sell yourself. Just see the person in front of you. Number 4 is rekindle old friendships. Think of someone from the past, a neighbor, an old coworker, or a casual friend, and just reach out. You can say, hey, I was thinking of you and just wondering how you're doing. It might seem awkward, but it's not. It's just being thoughtful. Number 5, practice before you need it. Don't wait until loneliness is loud. Start building a web of light connections. So when you do need a friend, you have a few people who you already feel familiar with. I think the most important thing is you just have to shift your mindset, because I know some of you are thinking, well, what if I try and I get rejected? What if they move away again? What if I just don't have it in me anymore? Well, friendship always involves risk, but quite frankly, so does loneliness. If you try and it doesn't work, well, you've practiced courage. If you try and it does work, you've added a little joy to your life. And don't let past losses make you believe that new beginnings aren't possible. You have wisdom, humor, kindness, and plenty of stories to share. And honestly, that's more than enough. If you've moved around a lot in life, you've already shown you're capable of great resilience. You know how to start over. You've done it before. You've been the new kid. You've been the one who no one knew. You are resilient because you've been there and you've survived it. Now it's time to do it, but do it on your terms. I think we all deserve connections. We deserve to laugh with someone over coffee, to be invited, to be included. But start small, start friendly, but you have to start. It's not too late to grow roots. I hope you'll let me know in the comments if you've struggled with making friends later in life and what's worked for you or what's held you back. Let's talk about it, because I think there are a lot of us out there that need to hear each other's story. Some of us have never been connected, never grown roots in a community because our lives have just never allowed for it. I think there is a lot to learn from those of us who have had to move around a lot, but there's also a lot to learn from those of us who have settled down, who've grown roots. And I'd love to get some pointers from you. Well, thanks so much. I hope you'll stick around for a short walking tour of my neighborhood in New Orleans. I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.